Hello everyone, welcome back to the Driven by Us podcast, where we spotlight incredible talent and untold stories within motorsports. I'm your host, Debbie, and today I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by a rising star within motorsports. She is a four-time Asian karting champion, currently racing in the Ginetta Junior Series, working as a development driver for the More Than Equal program and Tim Gray Motorsports. And she's just been crowned the 2024 MAM Young Driver of the Year. Katrina Ee, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, I'm super excited to be here. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you today and talking about my racing journey.
Absolutely. And we are so excited to have you on the podcast. Um, I know that you're based in Hong Kong and Malaysia. What is it like being here in the UK?
I think the culture is personally really different. I think just as well, coming from Hong Kong, Malaysia, it's just there's different languages and coming here because I've learned English back at home. So coming here is pretty easy, but I think just like adapting to the culture. And I think when I came here for racing, I had to learn like a lot of new things and experience new things. So yeah, I think it has been a really nice time being able to be here for racing, and I'm super grateful because there's not many people that are from my country that get to, do what I do, which that's really a fortunate thing that I get to do something that I love at a place that, is meant for racing. Like UK is really well known for motorsport and, a lot of things like that. So I'm really grateful that I get to be here for my racing and yeah, getting to chase my dreams.
Yeah, that's so inspiring. What's been your favorite food in the UK? Have you managed to get out and try some of our delicacies?
I've tried like English breakfast. I don't know if that's like something that you guys have, but I haven't tried like English tea yet. But I've also tried like fish and chips.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, yeah, so I have tried a few things, but yeah, I would say it's nice, but it's not my most favorite thing, but I'm getting used to it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that is fair. You've tried some classics that you can tick off your
Yeah.
list.
Mhm.
But definitely fish and chips on a Friday and a full English is a good one to try. A tea, I think being on a racetrack, most people do have cups of tea and cups of coffee probably
Yeah.
every hour.
Mhm.
So something for you to try. I'd love to kind of rewind a bit and kind of understand your journey into motorsports. Where did that begin?
Well, it's been so long, but I'm just gonna say it. I have been karting for the past 8 years. I've been in this industry for so long. I started at 2017 when I was just 7 years old. And I started competing at a young age at 9 years old, and then that's when I went to race at Europe for the first time at 11 years old, and then at 12 years old to 13 years old, I have won 4 Asian karting titles, which has been one of the highlights of my karting journey. So I've as well went back to the UK and Europe last year, to start, experiencing new things and taking up a level because Asia is not really popular for motorsport, but I did end up, telling myself, I might as well go over to the UK, challenge myself, and, compete with the best drivers in the world. And then that's when everything just started. So, and this year I've got the Young Driver of the Year award for the MAM Malaysia with the Motorsports Association of Malaysia. So I'm really grateful for all the support back at home. And ever since I got announced as being, part of the Ginetta Junior Series, a lot of people from home has given me lots of support. Like I've seen all the posts that they've made about it. It was so surprising because I was just posting it as an announcement. Like it wasn't a big deal at the time. And then I then saw a lot of posts back at home in Hong Kong and Malaysia. Everyone's just saying like a lot of positive words to me. And then last week when I was at the racetrack, a lot of people from Hong Kong came up to me and I took photos with them. And it was just like such a surreal moment that there's actually people out there that actually support me and, really, follow up with my journey. So I really like it.
Yeah, so inspiring. And I guess karting was always like the first step for you.
Mhm.
Was there like a particular memory or moment that made you fall in love with racing? Or did you just decide like, hey, I want to try and get into karting? What was that journey like?
Well, my parents were never brought up in a motorsport background, so I actually ended up starting up with my older sister. And we just went to a track, or, a karting track in Malaysia. And then that's when I then, saw, how it's like. And I then tried it out and I really enjoyed it. I don't know what it was, but I guess it was just the adrenaline, the speed, and also being one of the only girls in Asia doing this as a sport. I think that's just what really made me want to, stand out and work hard to beat the boys. I think it was just something that I didn't see as a challenge, but more of like something that I think was a motivation to prove myself and just show my speed on the track. So, yeah, ever since then, I've just been really loving it. And it's just something I've done for so long that I feel like if I didn't do it, I would have been someone completely different. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. And shout out to your sister for introducing you to the world
Yeah.
of motorsports. That's incredible. Um, you just mentioned that you were named 2024 Young Driver of the Year. What did that moment mean to you?
Well, that was when I really I saw that I got nominated for this award a few weeks back. And then, I was hoping I would win. But to be honest, when they told me that I got nominated, I actually did get nominated for two awards. I got Young Driver of the Year and Female Driver of the Year. So I was telling myself that even though I don't win, it's okay because at least I got nominated for it, which is
Yeah.
something that I'm grateful for. And getting to show as a Malaysian, I get to, show to the world that, I'm I'm able to, do well in the sport even globally is super amazing. So when I ended up winning the Young Driver of the Year award, I was just super excited and super happy because I wasn't actually there to be actually in Malaysia to get the award, but I did have someone to help me get the award in advance for me. So after when I won, I got a lot of supportive messages from people around. And yeah, and I've met so many new people after, winning the award. I've, gained a lot of new people that I've seen so many people and getting to just be part of this as a Malaysian and then getting to race around the world is something I've dreamed of because ever since I started racing, I've always wondered how far I could go. So I
Yeah.
think receiving it just really made me realize that all the hard work paid off and I really, showed myself. But I think now it's the time where I'm, building up and working harder and going to the next steps of my journey. That's why this year I decided to step up from the carts and, start driving a Ginetta Junior, which has been a completely amazing feeling.
Yeah, you've had an incredible, incredible journey and making the jump from karting to racing in the Ginetta Junior Series is a huge one. And you've just raced at Donington Park. Congratulations. What was
Thank you.
that experience like? It's the first time racing at a track like that. What was it like? Talk me through how you were feeling.
I was feeling a little bit nervous because I didn't know what to expect. I've watched videos of how a Ginetta Junior race and everything. I've tried my best to prepare before, but I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't expect that it was gonna be such a big event. I've saw there was different categories that weekend. It wasn't just Ginetta Juniors. There was GB4, there was Tour Karting Championship, and there was the Ginetta GTs. So there was a lot of different things, and as well as British GTs. So we were all racing at the same weekend. So I then realized that it was such a big event and people from the UK really love racing and I saw
We
so
do.
many people, actually watch all of the races. And it's my first time actually racing at the same time with different categories. So it was something
Mhm.
really new. And the paddock and the track is so much more bigger compared to a karting track. So everything was just so unexpected and so big, but in a good way. And when I started, actually racing and doing my qualifying, I then was really telling myself, well, this is really legit. I'm actually doing it. It was so incredible because I actually signed up for this series for really last minute. I was deciding to do it at the end of January. So I was I just have to prepare as quickly as I can. So when I actually got to the racetrack, I was I've prepared for the past 2 months and I'm finally actually doing it, which was insane. So my first qualifying, I was excited but a little bit nervous because it's my first ever qualifying in a car. And when I did the race starts, it's a standing start. So it's not the same in a kart where you kind of do a formation rolling lap.
Yeah.
So you have to have a really good race start in order to be able to build up and go up. And the races. So yeah, I would say it's been really nice. And my next race will be in Silverstone. So I'm really looking forward to going there because it's an F1 track, which is a really iconic track that everyone knows. So I'm super excited for the next one.
I'm sorry, I can't believe you've just said that you ended up signing up at the end of January and just had your first race or the first time out on track was April 5th, right? Um, what
Yeah.
does preparation look like? Because I can't imagine just going from like application to in the race car and actually driving within 2 months. What does prep look like within that time frame?
Well, since I was pretty last minute, I would say, I then kind of told myself, I'll then have to work harder to, get prepared for it. And it's really important that I have the speed and I have the pace, to do well in the races. So I did a lot of test days. My first ever test was at the end of the month. I went to Spain. I went to Califa and Navarra circuit. And that's when I actually learned how to drive the car. Like, that's the first time I sat in the car and I had an instructor in the car with me. When I first did it, I didn't even know how to even use the clutch properly. I stalled so many times. And then getting to where I am now, I was just proud that I was able to get through it. At least I know how to start the car. So I then learned and I tested in different tracks around the UK after I went to Spain. I've done a lot of tests with my team and Team Gray, and they have helped me a lot because they knew that I was inexperienced and it's something new. So they've actually helped me to, like get up and, work really hard just so that I can prepare for my races. So it was just mainly just lots of test days. So I feel like the more time you have on the track, the better you're gonna be. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing. So I was just trying to, be at the track all the time. Like every weekend I was like trying to, be at the track and do as many test days as I can because I had to get prepared as soon as possible. Because there is a lot of drivers that did it last year and they've done it and they prepared everything last year. But I've just come up and done it now. So I knew that I had to work hard to, get to where I am.
No, that's so inspiring. And what does preparation then look like out of the car? So you do loads of test days to kind of get familiar with the car itself. Um, do you do anything else outside of those test days?
Yeah, I do a lot of like gym work expect for that because I got a Hinsa performance coach provided by Morning Eagle. So Morning Eagle gave all of us girls gym trainers and nutritionists and psychologists. So we have a lot of support from the program. And ever since then, they've given me Hinsa performance coaches have, which they have been really helpful because ever since I'm moving a step up a category, they've helped me to physically get stronger and being able to, get fitter, which is very important as a racing driver because we're athletes and we have to, be able to handle like strong G forces and, handling that. So I then had to just really learn that, I had to work on a lot of stuff, which I had to work on my upper body, my lower body, my neck, and my reaction. So there's a lot of things going on other than just being on the track. Like, there's a lot of different factors that involve to be able to be a good racing driver. So yeah, I would say it's just the training and doing a lot of simulator training as well at home
Yeah.
or to a simulator center. Like I went to Silverstone and I did like a sim day at Ice One. So I went there and I learned the track in Silverstone. So it was really nice to experience that. And yeah, so I think it's just having that preparation off track is super important. So you don't feel like you're not prepared when you go to the track, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have all the tools to be able to
Mhm.
extract the full performance of the car. And yeah, huge, huge congratulations and the best of luck at
Yeah,
Silverstone, which I
thank you.
think is for any driver is an incredible moment to be able to drive on that track. Um, and I know that the Ginetta Junior Series is part of this bigger vision, um, perhaps Formula 4. What are you focusing on this season to prepare you for that next step in your career?
Yeah, I would say it would just be kind of, like being able to show my good results on the track. I think what's very important right now is just I just know that this year is just going to be like a learning year for me, a development year. It's something that I've never done before. I've never stepped in a car other than, Ginetta and last year when I did more than equal training camps, those are the only times I ever been in an actual car. So I knew that this year would be a really like a basically a learning year because I'm the only girl in this grid this year. And I heard that is also the most competitive grid this year because a lot of the people that are coming up to Ginetta Juniors this year are all from karting as well and they're all, really good as well. But, that doesn't really it doesn't make me feel like it's a disadvantage. It's just kind of just to, even though I'm the only girl, it doesn't make me afraid. It kind of just makes me, realize that I have to work harder, than ever just to, prove myself. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a development year for me.
Yeah, lots of learnings ahead of an incredible career that I'm sure we'll see very soon. And you mentioned that you are the only female driver on the
Yeah.
grid. And I think that inspires myself and so many other females within motorsports. What does that mean to you to be that role model within the industry?
Yeah, I would love to be able to inspire the younger generations and the upcoming girls that I want to be part of the sport because I've seen so many people say lots of support things about me and getting to show that I'm able to like being supportive to so many girls and inspire them is something I love because I've had role models when I started racing and getting to be someone's role model is amazing too because like there's so many girls that I've seen that have done really well, in karting and stuff like that, getting also to be able to meet those girls and getting to know them friendship and having such an amazing feeling because, overall I just feel like getting to inspire that next generation is really nice because I've grown up having role models as well. Like I've grown up, I really liked like Sophia Flores where she was like a movie driver at
Yeah.
the time. And I really liked how she was really hardworking and I've seen like a lot of videos of her and I just followed her journey. Like she was one of the racing drivers that are girls out there that I really got inspired by ever since I knew about motorsport.
Do you have any role models who aren't in motorsports that have inspired you in your career?
I feel like most of it is motorsport. Like
Yeah, fair.
my favorite, yeah, my favorite Formula One driver was Lewis Hamilton. Like ever since learned about Formula One, he was the person that has been winning throughout the years consecutively. So I about Formula One, and I saw Lewis Hamilton, and I watched as well the Netflix series about like Drive to Survive. So when I saw, like all the drivers and the episodes and how Lewis Hamilton grew up, it was something similar to from karting. So I feel like most F1 drivers as well, like start off with karting and build up to.
Yeah, karting is definitely the entry point into motorsports. Um, what's some advice that you can share with whether it's young people, anyone really that wants to get into motorsports?
My advice would just to go through it and just trust the process. I've done this for literally 8 years, and I'm still going on right now, and I'm still chasing my dreams. So I just say trust the process and have the confidence in yourself, because no one, will have the confidence in you unless you do yourself. People can see that as well. Like, people can see on the track if you're confident or not. Like, it's very easy to identify it. So I think also as well, just trusting the process is very important because once you get into something like motorsport, it's it's gonna be a long journey because everyone wants to go to the end goal, which is Formula One, which I do as well. So I think it's just trusting the process and having that self belief in you when you go in the track. Just stay as positive as you can. Like whenever you think negatively, sometimes what I like to think about it is it'll become like a negative outcome. Like I just
Yeah.
try to be staying as positive as I can because this is something I love to do. So, I should also enjoy it. And getting to be on the track is something I've wanted to do. So, there's no point in being negative about anything, just enjoy being there as well because it's something you've wanted to do. So, yeah.
I guess being out on track, having to navigate all these like new people, new organizations, whether it's, new teams, whether it's like your fitness team or management or team managers, what is something that you've learned or had to learn really quickly?
Well, ever since being with More Than Equal, we've been taught, like all of us girls have been taught so many different things. Like what's really important is that you understand the car because get when you go up every category and you go up the ladder, things get more technical. Like ever since I've been into Ginetta Junior, karting just seems as just like a foundation to where I am now. And Ginetta Juniors is a bigger car and there's a bigger engine and everything is just a lot more technical. So More Than Eco also told us, to be able to, identify and have really good feedback on the track. I think when like for example something is wrong with your car, you have to be able to identify that to your, mechanic or engineer because you need to have that right feedback and able to feel your car. It's not just, going out on track and driving the car. You have to feel the car and you have to give a lot of good feedback. So yeah, I've learned this for so many years and also Morning Eco has just given us a lot of time to just really like think about it. Like ever since I've been part of the program, they've given us a lot of, a lot of support. Like they've given us like a psychologist, a nutritionist, and now a gym trainer and yeah, they've given us a lot of things, and getting that support from them and being the only Asian girl selected for it has been incredible. So
Yeah. What's it like being surrounded by a team with More Than Equal and the Tim Gray Motorsports that's so focused on nurturing female talent within motorsports, particularly from a diverse background?
yeah, so when I've started working with them, which has almost been a year now,
Wow.
they have actually really been helping me a lot. Like they saw the potential in me, and I knew that I had to work really hard because I did all this just to make it here, but I know that, since now I'm in Ginetta Juniors this year, I really need to work a lot harder and do things outside the track that, just work a lot harder because being part of this program just really showed that like, I'm here for a reason. And yeah, so they have been ever since Morning Eagle has I saw that they've like recently officially partnered up with F1 Academy. I was super excited because, getting to work with F1 Academy, which is where I really want to go to one day, has been incredible. I get to have that support from F1 Academy and, David Coulthard, which is the co-founder. So getting to work with them and seeing that girls are getting in and, getting to see that, women are just so empowered and, they can do anything. And people always say that like motorsport is a male dominated sport, but I feel like now girls are getting into it more. And I really like seeing it because when I first started racing, there wasn't that many girls on the track and now I get to see that, and it's very nice. So, yeah, I think ever since then, I've just been, chasing my dreams, working hard every day. Like, it's not easy because I've done this for so long, and I have bad days like everyone else. But yeah, I think it's worth it at the end when you see that you have good results and everything starts working out.
Yeah. What's the, you kind of mentioned or touched upon it throughout our
Mhm.
conversation. What's the kind of short term goal and then the long term goal? Is it Formula One? Is it F1 Academy? What does that look like for you?
I think right now I just really want to focus on my Ginetta Juniors this year and I'm gonna be doing some karting a little bit here and there. But obviously in the future I really want to get into F1 Academy, which I've been seeing the series, I've been following up with it. So getting to go there and then, obviously one day to F1, I think that would be such a big dream come true because I've always seen every all the Formula One drivers, race, and I've always wanted to do that. So yeah, I think my short-term goal is just to be maybe just go to F1 Academy first, and then get up to Formula One, which I really hope I can in the future. So I'm just waiting for that opportunity, and yeah.
Now, you've got all the right tools in your toolkit, and I'm sure we'll see you in a matter of time just out on track. What is one of the tracks that you're most excited to drive on out of all of them? So maybe like your dream track.
This year, I'm actually going to be racing in Zandvoort, which I went there like last month to do a test, and I was so excited because I've seen, when F1 drivers race in that track, I was like, it's such a cool moment getting to race in the track like that. And when I started to drive on that track, I was like, it's such a high speed circuit. And I was like, this is amazing because I've watched the Zandvoort Grand Prix many years. So getting to race on it is so cool because I've always dreamed of doing that. So when I went through all the banked corners and all the high speed corners, I was like, this is really what I'm doing. So I'm really looking forward to driving at a high speed circuit like Sandbourne and also Silverstone. I'm really excited for those two the most. Yeah, so yeah, I really love those two circuits.
Silverstone is high speed, low downforce. It's seems like such a great track, and Zambor as well. Um, I guess before we kind of wrap up, I've got a little bit of a wild card question for you, and that is if you could swap helmets with any driver, past or present, for one race weekend, who would it be and why?
That's a really hard question.
I'm
I
sorry.
would say I think it would be my idol, Lewis Hamilton. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but I really like his helmet designs that I've seen, and it would be so cool to be able to swap helmets with someone like Lewis Hamilton. Like, he's my inspiration. So that would be really cool, to be honest.
yeah. I think a lot of people would want to swap helmets with with Lewis Hamilton. What is Katrina like outside of the helmet? Do we have any unexpected hobbies or things that you like to do to kind of unwind when you're not at track?
Yeah, I would say whenever I'm not on the track, I wouldn't say I'm completely different, but I just try to, like kind of disconnect from racing, especially when I have like a break in between from racing. And I just like, whenever I get to have the opportunity to go home, I would go home because, I miss my family. Like I'm all the way here. And sometimes I do feel like, I do miss my family at times. And it is like, unfortunate that sometimes you don't get to be here and support me, but whenever I do get to go home, all I like to do is just to spend time with them,
Yeah.
getting to go out and, have good food, which is really important because I don't get to have that type of food here. So when I go home, I just like to have the good food and I just like to, just spend time with family. I think just having that quality family time as well as just, yeah, just doing that because that's just how I disconnect. I think that's really important because ever since I came here for racing, I don't get to see my family that often. So getting to, do it and, you know, be at home, spend time with my family. And I also have a dog in Malaysia. So I don't get to
You
see my dog as
do?
well that often. Yeah, I have an American bully and he's only 2 years old. Yeah,
Oh,
he's really cute. Yeah,
oh, hopefully I'll be able to come and join you here.
yeah. His name is Rambo, and he's an American bully, and he's currently in Malaysia, and my grandparents are taking care of him. So when I get to go Malaysia, I always like to first go and see my dog because, ever since I'm here, it's just I never get to see my dog, and he's my dog, so I would always, go to the park and walk and, play with him. But when I go back home in Hong Kong, I just spend time with my family the most and have good food. I think that's just what I've always missed because here it's just me, so, you know, getting to go home and spend time with family is, something that I've always wanted to do because I don't get to do it here.
Yeah, and also reminds you kind of why you're doing this, right? It's like that
Mhm.
familiar feeling of like, okay, this makes sense, and they can pour love into you and support. So shout out to your family
Yeah.
and Rambo if you're listening.
Yeah. Yeah, cause I have to have I ever since I actually did move to Malaysia just for karting. Cause fun fact, Hong Kong doesn't have a karting track because it's
Oh,
such a
really?
small country. Yeah, so I then had to, think about it. Like, I then decided to move to Malaysia, which is where my dad is from. So then I moved there. I went to a completely different school. Like I had to go from Hong Kong, which is an American school, and I went to a British school in Malaysia and I had to learn the language, which is Bahasa. So I learned the Malaysian language, and that's where my dad is from. So I then had to also make new friends. And then when I left Malaysia to come to UK, I now am in an online school. So then I realized like I have to sacrifice so many things in my life that I didn't know I had to do in the past. Like I had to sacrifice seeing my family from both countries, getting to see my friends like, when I used to skip school in Malaysia just to race every weekend, my friends are like, "Why are you skipping school? You're never here." And I always have to explain myself like, "Oh, because 'cause I'm racing." And some of my friends would understand, but some don't, which I understand because a lot of people don't know what I'm doing. So I'd always have to tell them. And, I have a lot of my friends back at home that really support me and I'm still in touch with them. So yeah, I think I never really realized how hard I had to sacrifice so many things just to do something like this. I never realized that until now. So yeah.
I guess the fact that you're doing that shows that you really want to do this and, you believe in yourself and your dream. And I think that's like the most important thing, right? Doing something that you love, despite sometimes having to sacrifice some things that you do love. Um, what's that like having to balance school and, training and racing? I can imagine it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Yeah, so it's very different every week because every week I'm going to different places, like, because I don't have a home here. So whenever I'm here in the UK, I just stay at a place that I know I'm going to go to the circuit. And I'm currently here with, because my gym trainer is quite near here right now that I'm currently living in. So all the time I'll just be doing schoolwork because now I'm currently in Minerva Virtual Academy, which is an online school in the UK. It's based in London. And I've had a lot of karting drivers that I know that are also in the same school. So,
Nice.
I also get a lot of support from the online school because they talk to us about lots of nutrition and how it is to be an athlete. Because other than me in the school, there's also other athletes that are in the school as well. So we all get to, rely on each other. We all get to, see each other's story because there's so many people in my school that are from tennis, ice skating, football, and it's really amazing to see that there's so many people out there that are doing like what I'm doing. It's just I'm doing motorsport and they're doing something else. So when I do schoolwork, it's just, I do it online. And when I first actually moved to online school, it was a bit lonely at first, I would say, because I had to move from a physical school to here. So I had basically like I had to make new friends online, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything just felt a little bit different, the environment. I don't get to actually go to school and, be with my friends. So it was just mostly online, but I knew it was for the best because I knew that if I were to go to school all the time and had to travel back and forth from Malaysia, it would be just so much work. So I knew having to, move to online school was like a really good decision because I can even do school in the track. Like I can bounce down a lot. Yeah, so it's very convenient to be honest. So yeah, they really understand. But also getting to having to train at the gym every week is also really important because even though you're not racing that weekend, I still have to train regardless. Because I have that support from Morning Eagle, they give me the gym trainers, so I'm always gonna be training, and I'm actually gonna train this afternoon with him, with my
Are
trainers,
you?
so yeah, so I'm always kind of training, at the gym, school, doing simulator training and at the track. But for racing drivers, I feel like we all also have a break. I don't do this like, I do this a lot, but I also get to have breaks as well. I feel like sometimes people think that racing drivers just do this all the weekend and that's it, but we do get breaks. Like when I have my off season, which is in June, I will have no racing that month. So I'm going to go home in June and be back home. So
With you traveling so much, what are some of your top three essentials? Like, I need at a bare minimum these three things. What is in your bag?
So in my travel bag, I would say my skincare, like,
Yeah.
yeah, cause like my skin gets really like it fluctuates a lot. Like I can break out sometimes really badly because if I'm not taking care of my skin properly, it gets really bad, especially on the plane. It's very dry. My skin gets really dry on the plane. So I always bring my skincare and makeup because as a girl in a male dominated sport, I still like to wear makeup and do girly things, like a normal person. So so whenever I'm off the track, I like to wear makeup and, do that stuff. So I personally bring my skincare and makeup, which is super important. And then second would be kind of just my devices like my phone, my computer, and that. And also third would just be I think my clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my clothes as well. I just really feel like that's really my 3 essentials, and as well, like, my workout clothes, because
Yes.
I work out so much every single week that I need my workout clothes as well, so yeah.
No, those are, yeah, 3 essentials that I can also relate to when I'm traveling. I need to have
Yeah,
good skincare, like, nice and thick so that my skin doesn't dry out on the
yeah.
plane. Uh,
Especially, like, face mask, because my face gets really oily sometimes, so I like to wear face mask, and, yeah, they really help me to soothe my skin, especially after traveling a lot, and, yeah, I just try to take care of my skin because I'm going through like puberty and stuff. So like I also have to take care of my skin. And whenever I'm on the racetrack, I don't really like to like wear makeup or anything. I've seen a lot of girls that are racing drivers that actually do wear makeup, which I really support because that's really a brave
yeah.
thing to do. But personally, whenever I have to sweat a lot on the track, I don't like the feeling of like my face with makeup in the helmet and it feels really greasy. I think it depends who you are. Some people like it, but I'm personally someone who doesn't like to do that. So
No, I love it. Well, everyone's bringing glamour to the grid, and I'm
yeah.
in support of it, whether it's with makeup, good skincare. I, yeah, absolutely adore it. Katrina, thank you so much for this conversation. And everyone listening, you've been so inspiring. I feel like I've learned so much, especially about your transition from Hong Kong and Malaysia here in the UK. Um, Definitely recommend trying out tea. Tea with milk, tea without. Try it. Let me know your thoughts. It's been honestly lovely. If anyone wants to support you in your journey, how can they connect with you?
I would say just follow my social media, which Instagram, it's Katrina Ee 13. And I also recently got a TikTok account. So you can follow my TikTok, which is also Katrina. It's, yeah, it's Katrina Ee 13 as well. So they're all the same. I also have Facebook, which is also the same. And I also have LinkedIn, which is also something I recently also gotten into because I've recently got into the LinkedIn account just to kind of also as well, like kind of post about my stuff in a
Yeah.
professional and stuff. So I got LinkedIn, I also have Threads, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, everything. You can follow me there to support my
Look
journeys.
forward to seeing
No,
your TikToks. I love a good TikTok. Day in the life.
yeah.
I want to see it all.
Yeah, I always do day in the lives. Like I've recently kind of gotten into doing a lot more reels, especially for like Instagram and TikTok. Like I posted like a get ready with me recently and like a life as a 15-year-old racing driver. So I'm doing a lot of content as well behind the scenes.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love it. It's a great way
Yeah.
just to kind of share your life. And yeah, I love a good TikTok. Okay, definitely
Yeah.
following you on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Katrina. We wish you the best of luck race in your upcoming races with the Ginetta Juniors. Um, and for those of you listening, make sure to follow Katrina on her social media platforms. And if you love this episode, also give us a follow. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.